When Ricky passed, it changed more than him just not being here. It changed my whole future. All the plans we had. What am I supposed to do now? I hate crying. It makes my chest hurt because I have not been able to shed actual tears. For some reason, my body fights crying. I was released on June 2nd. My friend Curtis and his wife got me a room at a budget suite for a week so that I could deal with the memorial service, which was on the 6th at the Salvation Army, where he had gotten sober. I do not know who planned it. I really didn't care at that moment. The doctors had heavily drugged me so I could get through the week without having another breakdown. Today is really rough for me. My physical illness and emotional stress do not get along well together. I see him, I hear him, I smell him. There is nowhere in this town I can go that we do not have a memory of us together, except jail and those crack-a-lacka houses, as he used to call them. If I don't seem sweet and loving and happy-go-lucky right now, I apologize in advance. Even though I've lost a lot of people in my life, I never lost someone I really loved. If you plan to be at the memorial tomorrow, please bring a red or blue balloon. This is a celebration of his homegoing and one of his last wishes. His passing did not seem real until yesterday at the memorial service. I am thankful for everyone that put it together, and I thank my nephew, Antoine, for coming and supporting me. Ricky's last wish for me was to get on with my life. I know he is with me in spirit, and he would want me to continue on with the laughter that we had in our home. He will never be forgotten. He taught me how to pray, how to care, and most of all, how to love. Day 15. Through my prayer and meditation, the last 2 weeks, I've learned a few things. 1, greater empathy for others. 2, choosing healthier priorities. 3, deeper communication with God. 4, making new and renewing relationships. God is in charge. Even though Psalms 23 was Ricky's favorite chapter, mine is Psalms 139, and I read that one every day. God is leading me to make some major changes in my life. I just don't know or understand. I'm just following. All I say is, "Here I am, Lord. Use me. My heart is saddened, not because Ricky passed. God has put his arms of strength around me. What you do find out is who is really your friend. Yesterday was my first day back to an AA meeting after Ricky told me to go on with my life since he knew he was dying. And that hurt so bad, I felt like he was denying me to be by his side. I have since found out that what Ricky did was a great form of love. At the meeting, when I asked the person that had Ricky's keys, could I have the mailbox key? Because that is where my personal attorney mails my information. And the only thing he cared about was where the storage place was, where Ricky's guitars and furniture were. There was a little group of them, and not one asked how I was doing. Thank you, my Adonai, with such peace, as I know my baby is no longer in pain. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Matthew chapter 5, verse 4. Well, I went ahead and got a haircut and trim. Nothing drastic. Time to start a new chapter of my life. As someone sent me this morning, time to heal. Such is the paradox of AA, regeneration, strength, arising out of complete defeat and weakness, the loss of one's old life as a condition for finding a new one. I went to Henderson Welfare Office. They are starting my food stamp with retro from last month. Went to the mailbox at Rancho in Charleston. Right now, I am at Starbucks having a coffee while my phone charges. It was a very hard day since I have removed Ricky off all the places I went. I have been homeless since being discharged. I have, with a few people, a week here and a week there. Right now, I am staying out in Henderson with a friend. I have qualified for some help with paying for a room from her. The only problem with being out here is it is so far from my doctors at the Air Force Base. So on the days I have an appointment, I ride with her to her job, and then I catch the bus or walk from there. I was reading the stages of grief on this chart this morning. According to it, I'm in the depression stage, which actually made me laugh because I've been diagnosed with severe major depressive disorder most of my life. When I was in the hospital and got the call of Ricky's passing, the doctors immediately increased my depression, anxiety, and sleep medication. I did not like it, but today I am grateful. I have never really grieved in my life till now because I have plenty of time to think. And of course, my head was saying, get over it. only babies cry. And I knew that I finally really loved someone besides myself. Thank you, Ricky, for teaching me how to love by loving me. Today was a little better. More smiles than tears. Actually, I feel God's peace wrapped around me. Went to a meeting, then a church service with Nina. That's right, I said church service. I sat and told Ricky about my day and the few changes I feel God is leading me to do. But today was a good day. Miss you, Ricky. See you soon. Had a very bad night. Could not sleep despite the meds to knock out a horse. Kept hearing Ricky's voice every time I dozed off, or kept dreaming of him pushing me away because he didn't want me to have any bad memories of him. I try not to cry a lot because it's not what he would want. He would always say,
"Don't cry when I'm gone, for I will be home waiting for you."
I miss his physical presence. He was my best friend and my confidant. He never put me down because he was always lifting me up. I went to my pain management doctor today. He does not like the report of how I ended up in UMC, so he's going to wait on an x-ray of my back and neck again. They need to see if it's the actual back and nerve or my brain, like with my eyes. He told me I needed to be on a walker at all times for now, till they look at x-rays and another MRI. I have to go tomorrow to the base hospital for the x-ray and wait while it is recorded to a disc and get my blood work. They did not tell me why, but they had sent my blood somewhere for a second opinion and they lost it. Praying that it is not MS. That is what they are checking for. I need prayer that God blesses me with favor. If I get another case manager, I'm gonna scream. I already have 4. One from Nellis Air Force Base, one from Veterans Affairs, one from Desert Parkway, and now one from Social Services. It's been 22 days since his passing, and it seems like an eternity. I got to cheer up. I have a mind doctor's appointment today, and if he thinks I'm not coping well, which is how he got me the last time, or if he thinks I'm in a state of hurting myself or others, I will get a vacation with locked doors again. I know this will pass. I wish I could just go to sleep for about a year. This morning I woke up to a spasm. Luckily, 2 nitro tabs and an aspirin helped. First one since last November, so I cannot complain. I keep thinking that Ricky is going to come in the room. I do not cry when I see his memorial portrait anymore. I talk to him every day, like I talk to God. I've been told I qualify for paratransit, but I'm praying for complete healing. Mainly the unbalanced gait. I have fallen twice now, trying not to use the walker. I have a pain management doctor's appointment tomorrow. Not sure if they are going to do the cortisone shot or not. I pray they do and get them over with. Nothing like waking up to
I'm getting ready to administer your pain med.
and having no idea where you are. I do know it is June 30th. Acutely confused this time. Was told I have total renal failure. Great. Heart attacks, back pain, eviction, giving up chaos, Ricky's passing, now kidneys. This is more than I can handle. I am so tired. I was still trying to remember how I ended up here. It seems odd to me. I'm always walking around with water or something, and I was looking at what was supposed to be dinner, and I was wondering what was taking Ricky so long to come to the hospital. And then I realized he would never walk through that door again, that our season in life is over. The last week was a little too much. My body actually said it would take no more medicine. I had kidney failure with a sleepwalking episode, and I thank God I was where I was when it happened. God sent me to the hospital I ended up in during all the chaos. I had a moment of clarity to have the person I'm staying with to call my best male friend Michael instead of calling an ambulance or going to the closest hospital. He told her to take me to the one that was 10 minutes further, and every negative force was waiting. We encountered the preconceived I was an addict attitude from the intake nurse and the person who took me, who happens to work for the state of Nevada. And she said, if that nurse would have said one more word, she was going to use her ID and ask for her supervisor. The next issue, they could not get a vein in my arm to save my life. I said, God, where are you? And God was there. The staff started changing one by one. The next day, I came to with no memory. And when the doctor came by, he said,
Wow, you look better. Thought I had lost you for a while.
And I just replied, me too. Once they had got me stable and my kidneys detoxed, I asked the doctor to only put me back on the medications that he saw that I needed to be on, which as of right now is 5. Wow, it's really messed up when they ask you what address are you being discharged to, and you really don't know. I have had to make a gambler's decision on where to go next. Neither is the right or wrong decision. Do I continue on the road I am currently on, or do I step out in blind faith on this tiny little path that I feel God is calling me to? What happens next? All I know is I'm waiting on a phone call, and I need to check my mailbox. Only God knows. Buddy had got me all of the personal papers and cards and medallions that Ricky and I had. And I've just finished sorting all of it. For the cards, I had to make a decision on which sobriety birthday ones I wanted to keep. I decided on his to just keep the ones he got from the LLB or the Late Lunch Bunch and a couple of our true friends. The rest I'm tossing. It was really hard. We did a lot of stuff and constantly gave each other cards. I thank God for the peaceful heart He gave me with Ricky, that I have nothing but wonderful memories. I cry now and then because I miss his physical presence, but I feel his presence daily. I can feel him when I take a step that leads me to continue on without him, like he asks me to. I love you, Big Daddy, for all that you taught me. Apart from God, I can do nothing. My steps are ordered by the Lord. Can't wait to see where we go. My God is so awesome. I had been troubled with phone issues. The phone bill I had with Ricky was in the over $500 range, and they had cut it off. I was told by a friend that she would pay half if I could get friends to pay half and get a prepaid phone. So we went to Cricket, Metro, Sprint, and Walmart, and the cheapest phone anyone had was $49.99, plus activation, plus minutes and data. So we prayed about it, and I called Sprint the next day. They told me to get them proof of Ricky's passing and a good faith payment of $80. So 2 weeks later, they had made a few adjustments, and was it good to make another good faith payment on my line? So I paid them all I had, which was $75. On Thursday morning, I prayed and said, okay, God, I only have a couple of days left to pay off the $344, which was what was left on Ricky's phone up till May 27th, and the past due amount from my phone from April, May, June, and the new balance for July. Okay, God, it's in your hands. I posted it to one of my groups because God said to, and in less than 10 minutes later, I got a message to text them back. They just recently been blessed and can help out. As I speak, the total owed on my Sprint account that Ricky and I had has been paid off, and the amount has been lowered again. All I can say is thank you, God. I still have 4 more important things that need to be done, but it will be done in God's time. I've just been spending some time with God and letting Him lead the way. I have seen God working, but of course not in my speed. But things have been turned around. The Veterans Affairs Department called me yesterday, stating I'd been assigned a case manager. I qualify for logistic care, which is free, and paratransit, but that is a $6 trip. It's cheaper to catch the bus, and to only use paratransit when the bus stop will be too far from locations. We went over my current medications, which are at 7. She said if the need for a new place to stay comes up, then we will discuss it at that time. Right now, I'm in a safe environment. She wanted to know if I was getting out the house. I said yes, between meetings and going to church with the person I was staying with. Any activity in the house, I told her I did a little bit in each room: kitchen, living, bedroom, and bathroom, until I am tired or pain starts, and I take care of Miss Kitty Kitty. She asked if I decided on which hobby yet, and I said I wanted to start back up on my plastic canvas. Just don't have the funds for the supplies right now. I want to make little baskets filled with little items for unfortunate kids. Tomorrow I have my pain management doctors, which I wish I could say is just as good news the last couple of days. Slight chest pain and my back hurts more. I think it is partly due to the walker. I need the upgraded 4 wheels one with the seat. The one I have feels every bump, and it takes an effort to use it. It is the walker from hell. My doctor did put in a request for a new one. When I have an issue with God or Jesus, I have to remind myself that Jesus had to go 40 days and nights being tempted and tested. Jesus had to grow up to the age of 33 before it was time for him to do his mission. Jesus treated everyone the same. He helped anyone that needed it. Jesus constantly asked God, his Father, to forgive all, no matter what they did. They lied on him. They betrayed him. They turned their backs on him. They denied he was even a friend. They killed him, and still he asked that they be forgiven. How can I complain about anything? I forgot when I gave my life to him by saying a prayer with Ricky on March 6th that I said, "Here I am, Lord, use me." Little did I know my world would be turned upside down. Once again, I had to re-say that prayer and ask for forgiveness, because I meant it then, I believe, and I still do. God put this in my heart this morning. How quickly I said I would follow God no matter what. But now I want to take the reins because God is going too slow. It just dawned on me. In 2.5 months, I'll be 50 years old. And in 37 days, I'll be 19 years sober. This year went by so fast. And so far this year, I've gotten closer to God and have let him lead my steps. And he is still leading as of today. This will be the last time I say it. Do not call me, text me, or suggest that I lie on a resume or a job application or some housing program. Just because you do it will not get me to do it. I cannot say that I trust in God if I lie to get my way. I don't know why God is allowing this. It is not my business to know. It took too long for me to come to believe in God, and I'm not turning my back on him now. I will sleep on the street before I turn my back. But you that suggest the lying are asking me to? What's wrong? Don't you believe God will take care of all your needs? I will not debate it. I will just start unfriending. God is my best friend, and he would not tell me to lie. Actually, he tells me not to lie. P.S. If you don't like what I said, you can unfriend me. But first, you may want to take a look at why it bothers you so much. Well, I knew it was coming. You try to tell people you cannot have stress. But nope, they want to run your life. And when you ask them to stop, they don't. Just keep on going because they think they know what's best for me. I am still not going to lie on my resume or any legal documents. My God has my back. By God's grace, I was at the Serenity Club when it happened, and there just happened to be someone there who knew to call an ambulance. My potassium was so low, there was none. They flushed my system and took me off the Cymbalta. I am standing here outside Spring Valley Hospital, waiting for my ride. I had low potassium and a medication reaction. So I am pleading with God to show me which way to go. And out comes this tiny incubator with a little baby. They put him in the ambulance with 5 nurses, and they put a bubble around him and was hooking up this big yellow tube, then shuts the doors. Then the ambulance roared off with its sirens wailing. I got nothing to complain about. Oh God, I just want to be myself again. I can't take the pain anymore. Well, they can't get an IV in me, and I am only giving each nurse one try, except for my day nurse when he comes back today. His name is Corey. He's 46, and he can try at least maybe 4 times because I am running out of veins. My foot that was hurting is not broken, but I do have arthritis in my feet and hands, and I already knew about the arthritis in my neck. Still waiting for the results of my brain MRI and CT scan. I tried to tell them there was no brain to scan, but I must have fell asleep while telling them because they did it anyway. So to be honest with you, I have no idea why I am here, except that they can't send me home when I fall asleep the way I do. And they need the IV in me first. Hey, babe. It's quickly coming up on 3 months since you passed, and I'm still going to the hospital. Once was my EKG was funky. 2 days later, it was low, no potassium. And then yesterday, I fell asleep while the doctor was talking to me, and he was gonna let me go and then just come back for a sleep study. I remembered leaving. Then I heard someone ask if I was okay. Apparently, I fell asleep walking down the hallway. They kept me for a 24-hour observation. Then I got to go. People are actually mad at me because I won't lie on my resume or on an application or a housing program application so that I can get a job or a shelter. They do not seem to understand that if I am still going to the hospital an average of 1 week per month, I am not going to keep a job. Out of all the applications we put in from February 1st to May 5th, I only heard back from 3. 1 for Ricky and 2 for me. I sent in the resume on the one and went in for the typing test on the other, and I couldn't see the computer screen to take the test. So I went and had my eyes examined. Not quite blind, but close. He suggested some 3-layer lenses, but I can't afford those, so they are on my list of things to get. After 3 months of going from friends' homes or just hanging out in places that really didn't notice if I was there, I finally got into the mission where I was allowed to stay for 1 week. I could get in line at 3 p.m., check in, shower, get a bed, then eat. I would also get breakfast in the morning before I would have to check out with my stuff and leave for the day. This is the same mission Ricky Carroll went through when he first got sober, and also where he had his memorial service. So God has brought me full circle. I no longer cry at the mention of Ricky's name, because when I sit at my table for breakfast and dinner, I sit with a man named Rick and his 25-year-old handicapped son named Ricky. Once I leave here, I cannot come back for 30 days. I was looking at our pictures again, and one of my favorites is of you and our cat Chaos. I miss you both, but I can talk about you without falling apart. I love you. First off, my Adonai, thank you for waking me up this morning. I am thankful for the 2 ladies for helping me get a walker with wheels and a seat. The ones that so far helped with the Give Forward account so that my phone is paid current. That really helps me to be able to stay in touch with my doctors, case managers, and attorneys. They are now looking into being able to get a monthly for me when I leave the rescue mission on Monday morning. Seeing life from this side has given me a joy and peace. Even though there are those that choose to be homeless, they have taught me how to survive, and I have heard some real interesting stories. A lot of them got here like me. Some unplanned event happened that they were not ready for. The staff at the mission are wonderful. They do their best to be nice to all, but it boils down to they treat you the way you treat them. The people that volunteer are great, and the required chapel meeting nightly is not that bad either. The swelling and pain in my ankle to my mid-calf is cellulitis, a common and potentially serious bacterial skin infection, and venous status, which is a risk factor for forming blood clots in veins, as well as arthritis. Even though the swelling usually goes down some, there was still swelling enough for the doctor and case manager to see and perform the tests needed to make the decisions regarding my legs and ankles. I had to get compression stockings if that doesn't work. I'm not sure what is next. I do know I pray these work. They were so painful getting on. I'm not having a good day. I woke up, and even though my feet are elevated, they were still swollen enough to not be able to stand up for about 15 minutes. And my hands were no help. They were so painful I couldn't use them to get leverage. Trying to make it to the third when I see my pain management doctor, who has already been set up, and an appointment with my off-base neurologist for the 15th, unless he sees a reason for the appointment to be sooner. Since the extra pain has caused more stress on my heart, I also see my off-base cardiologist that day, praying that it is something simple. I know God has my back, praying the doctors can diagnose this issue without a lot more tests. It is sometimes hard dealing with grief. Some days I can be on cloud 9, and then something changes. At first it did not hit me. Then about 15 minutes later, the loss of Ricky hits me so hard. I was very devastated, and for about a moment of time, I could not control it. And I couldn't get it out of my head. And I cried to God for help. And instantly my phone rang. And when I answered it, I heard,
"Hi, Cheryl. This is Leah. And I was prompted to call you because I need to get out of my head."
and I just started crying. Because once again, God showed out. We talked over an hour, and I was actually laughing when I got off. Right now, I miss Ricky, but I have nothing but happy memories. And God has sent me another sister who can share her experience and help me walk through this next chapter in my life. I want to thank you all for the sobriety birthday wishes. I was having a sad day with my sissy Gloria in the hospital. It has been hard. Since she is Ricky's sister, I have a special place for her in my heart. I'm still waiting on my hearing. The doctors have set up more tests because for some reason all my joints have started being painful at the same time. So they cut back on 2 of my meds, which are for my heart and nerves around the heart. So me and the doctors are praying that my heart is cured to where it won't start back with the spasms. They ordered a new walker for me. As much as I tried to tell them I didn't need it, but I can't pass the balance and gait test. As the doctors put it, if I drove and got pulled over, even with a clean breathalyzer, they would take me to jail because I would pass any of the other tests. They also want me to go to physical therapy and start back with the psychiatrist and psychologist for anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, grief, depression, etc. Honestly, I'm just tempted to stop the meds and see what happens. Since they stated there is a possibility the medications could be turning on me, all 6 of them said no
way.
at the same time at that suggestion, with the side threat of,
if you don't go to those appointments, we can easily just put you on a 72-hour hold.
last time they did that, I was in there 9 days. And that's just some of the stuff. Well, anyway, no more appointments this week, so I can focus on taking my cake Saturday. The day before I was to leave the mission, I was coming out of a 7-Eleven, and this woman comes up to me and says,
"My brother would like you."
I said, "Excuse me?"